Today we're doing an Among Us speedrun, because these exist apparently, and for this speedrun we're going into free play and the scout. Because the speedrun we're going to be doing is all tasks on all maps, starting with the scout. And one thing we do have to make sure is for our fixed wiring, that needs to start in storage. But now we can go through, select all of the different tasks, and once that's done, we'll actually start the speedrun. We'll close our tasks since we already know what they're going to be, and we're going straight down to medbay so we can get scanned. Yeah, not too much to say about this task. You kind of just stand there for 10 seconds. Make sure you're not an imposter, and straight after that we can go right over here, press that to start, because you actually have to wait a while before you can come back to it and actually finish the task. So while that's happening, we're going to start heading down and go into the left area of the map, but before that we can do a couple of wires, just some pretty simple stuff, as well as coming down a little bit more to pick up this gas canister, because we're going to be able to use this fuel for somewhere later. Then we're heading into electrical, because one thing that we definitely have to do, well, after this little task, just kind of pressing on all of those, and also doing the vents, just getting rid of that stuff, is turning on all of the electricity. We have to go one by one, pressing up all of these switches to make sure more of the tasks will be able to appear. So it makes sense for us to come here first and also get this one task of getting all the data from electrical before we can start heading out to other places. And like I said, for this map, we're going to be heading over to the left side first and just finishing out those ones. We get this one where it's one of the electricity things. All of the electric tasks are going to be super easy. All you have to do is press one button and it's already done. Then we can head over to reactor and do the memory puzzle. In this puzzle, you just have to follow what it gives you. So we have to do that 3 combo, then it's going to make a 4 combo, and we kind of just keep going. It gets more complicated as it goes, but to be fair, it's also really easy. Not really a problem. We can finish out that task and also do this game where we have to count to 10. Yeah, I'm just going to try to do it as fast as possible. Still, not really the hardest task in the world. To be fair, this is the first map, and the tasks are going to get better as we get to later ones. But we're also going to refill that right there, as well as point that in the right direction before heading up and finishing up upper engine with just another one of those simple turns. Then finally we can head back over to medbay, where of course, if you remember earlier, we set this up so we can find the anomaly, and finally we're mostly done with the left side of the map, so it's time to focus on the right side. And to start with that, we'll head right over here, get some more downloaded data from the cafeteria. Not too much you can do during these. You kind of just sit here, get that data, and then you transfer it to headquarters later. So we want to get all the data before we go to headquarters, just to make sure it's as fast as possible, along with going ahead and getting that one where we get rid of the garbage and doing one of my favorite mini games, because you just get to shoot stuff. We have to shoot 20 of these rocks, and as soon as they're all destroyed, that's going to be another task, and yay, more downloading. Yeah, throughout this video you're going to see a lot of these downloads, and you're also going to see a lot of these electric things, but at least those ones don't take as long. But we're getting done with a lot of the left side of the map. We can take that electricity one too before heading on to some leaves, just making sure they get out of the ship, and then we're also going to get rid of some more leaves. After that, it's time for some more wires just right over here, and going to navigation, we'll be able to get that electricity, some more downloads from right here, and also 2 slightly more fun mini games. This one, what we have to do is move that rocket ship to the right place, and this one we actually have to aim it in the right place. So now we can head down till we make it to shields, where there's going to be another electricity thing first, and we can also get that one through the railings so we don't have to go all the way over, just small speedrun tricks, before coming to communications and doing all the stuff in here. So we're doing pretty well so far. We only have a couple more things we have to get for this map. We'll head right over to the trash compactor first, or I guess it's not really a compactor, whatever you're trying to call it, before we now head over to admin, where we're going to transfer all the data we got from the different rooms over to headquarters. Now the unfortunate part is you can't do this all at the same time. We will head over to card slide first though, because sometimes I honestly forget to do that one. But like I said, we have to put all the data to headquarters individually. So that's going to be number 2 done. Now we do number 3, and yeah, I'll just tell you when we're done with this. So I believe this one is going to be the last little bit, which means now we can go to the top of the map, and yeah, as you see, we just have a few more things to do. At the top, there's going to be this panel, which is just some more of these, pretty easy pattern recognition. Before we head down to storage, fill up our canister one more time, and that's going to allow us to finish our last 2 tasks in lower engine. The first one, of course, is refilling, and then the second one is going to be another one of these aiming ones. There goes all the tasks, which means we leave right away and go into Mira. Now for this one, we want to set up on the computer again, making sure the wires are going to start in hallway. Then yeah, just the normal stuff, pressing all these things down. But after that, we're going to head straight up to this vending machine. You can see at the bottom right, that's the thing we have to get, And as soon as we go and get that, we're gonna get the task complete. And now we can do another one of these. We get rid of some leaves, you know, easy stuff. Now, of course, we're gonna do this side of the map first, which means we get this fun one. I mean, it's not really fun, you just press a button, but I really like how it looks, so that must count for something. And straight over to the left, there's also going to be another one of these games where we get to shoot some space boulders. Yeah, not too hard, just like usual. I still enjoy it, even though I've played it way too many times, to be honest. But now we're heading into storage where we want to get this watering can, but we're not actually going to use it till much later. And we can get to the vent, of course, get rid of the stuff right in there. And now we want to head over to the bottom left side of the map. There's going to be wires right here, and then after that we want to head over all the way to the bottom and to the left where the people usually spawn. And that's because there's going to be another one of these tasks where you have to start it now and then come back later. So while we're waiting for that, it makes sense to go over to locker room, do one of these wires because, you know, it's just in our way, and head up to decontamination. Now at this point we're going to go right away to reactor where there's going to be another memory game. You know, not too much to say about this. Pretty easy, just like usual. I can just do my full combo, but then it's time to now turn on all the electricity. Yep, this game loves making us do all this. I mean, to be fair, I'm kind of putting it on myself since I am doing all tasks, but yeah, just something. And then of course, it's time for this game where we have to count to 10 before heading straight over to laboratory for some of my favorite missions. We do have the electricity one since those are opened up now. And then we have the crystal one, which I kind of am bad at. Okay, this is a little embarrassing. There we go. That is going to be the right one. A little bit of a time loss, but that's fine. We finished that, and I'm just going to let you listen to this one. Those sound effects are just so satisfying. Probably one of my favorite parts of the speedrun. But we did a lot, and of course, a lot of time has passed, so now we can go back to spawn. But before that, we might as well get the stuff in medbay just to make sure enough time has passed, and we have to do these anyways. I mean, I don't know who I'm doing this for. I'm pretty sure it's obvious I'm me. I'm the only person on this ship. But whatever, it's time to head straight back over here where there are going to be 3 more things. The first one is going to be another one of these pick the anomalies, nice and easy. Then we have the refuel station where we want to get a gas canister. And finally, it's also going to be one of these electricity things. So we got all that done, which means there's only a few more things we have to do, mostly in the top of the map, but we also have to head over to communications and turn on that electricity, as well as right back to where we started to turn on some more electricity. Not too bad, but yeah, it's there. So yeah, now we're in office, more electricity. I don't know. I know this is such enticing commentary, but now we're gonna upload, and I really like this animation. My guy just looks so happy. And that's a pretty easy task before heading straight over to admin, where there's gonna be a couple of things we gotta do. The first one is entering all of these numbers in. The second one is one of these shield defense things. At least I think that's like shield defense. I don't know, it's something. And we can get that done along with the rocket ship. Nice and, okay, I said nice and easy. How did I just mess that up? And then we have electricity. Now we're finally in the greenhouse, and we can actually use our watering can that we got so long ago. We can do this leaves mini game, one of these again. And our final task is going to be turning on the electricity one more time before we can leave here and then go into Polis. Now, of course, yet again, our first thing to focus on is making sure the wires are in the correct place. And this one is really annoying. And that's because we want to get our wires to start in decontamination, but the game really doesn't like us to do that any time. Now you can see the timer, how it's okay. There we go. That took so long, but that's fine because that's just what this speedrun is. Now, after we select all of the tasks, it's time to start moving. And the first place we want to go to is the office, where we can do the card swipe. You know, not too bad. Can I please get this first try for once in my life? Anyways, then we have this card as well, not too hard. And finally, one of these downloads. Yep, we're back to this. But now we're going to take a pretty interesting path because we're not going to do a couple tasks for a while, and that's just because this map is so big, and we're going to be making our way over to specimen room. Of course, for this speedrun, one of the most important things is taking the best path in the fastest way to get places. Because I mean, otherwise we won't go fast. I don't even know if I had to explain that. Why do I even say these things sometimes? Anyways, that's a memory game done. We can also go in this cooler, and we just have to put a couple things in there and do another one of these downloads. Now we're heading to upper decontamination, and you can see here why we wanted the wires. First of all, you have to wait to get decontaminated anyways. And then secondly, you can see that that wire goes straight over to this one, which finally goes straight over to the left so we can do all 3 of these right in a row. It's pretty worth it to take the extra time just to make sure we get that path. Then we're getting scanned, a pretty normal thing at this point. They really don't believe that I'm just a red Among Us guy. And it's time for another one of these time things where we have to press that right there and come back to it later, before also searching through the sky to find that specific, is that like an asteroid? I don't really know what that's supposed to be, but you'll see we're actually skipping a couple things in the laboratory since we have to come back here anyways. Then we're going to be heading straight over to storage because there's going to be another refuel station and we have to use this twice. And while we're in this general area, we might as well head up to dropship where we can do another one of these spaceship mini games and also put a key in a fob and turn it. It's so impressive, I know. Then there's actually going to be the place where we have to refill right next to one of these puzzles, which these are a little bit annoying because you can't go too fast. Otherwise, your mouse loses where you're at. If you play this game, you already know what I'm talking about. So that is a little annoying, especially since we have to do a bunch of those for this map, including this one right here. We just hope that we get pretty simple paths that are fairly straight. I am not really getting that lucky so far, but at least we're getting them done. And we can head straight up over here, which is going to be our last refuel station for this part. Then over in electrical, there's only one thing we have to do, which is getting some downloads. But after those are completed, we're in the perfect place to complete a lot more, especially in O2 where there are going to be 2 things. And I actually really like these mini games. I mean, one of these mini games. The first one is just this, but then the second one is going to be going and do, okay, maybe I don't really like these ones. I guess they're okay. For some reason, I had something in my mind where I was like, that's the best one, but all right, I'm just trying to go fast. I can't even think at this point. Anyways, we're filling up some bottles with the O2 because we might as well get those canisters before heading down. And we have this thing where I don't really know what the point of this is or what exactly we're doing, but we're filling something up, so that's pretty cool. And it's also the same for this, like, what are we achieving here? Anyways, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna do another one of these wheel things. We're helping somehow. And before we head out of this area, we also want to let go of some trash, just like usual. Now we're getting to the final parts of this map, but before that, we actually have to do another one of these, which that was a fairly good path, not the worst one I've seen. And we might as well do the electric thing up here too, which that's a really good path. That's actually what we want to see. But now it's time to head into communications since we have to do a reboot on the Wi-Fi. And of course, that's going to take some time. So it just makes sense to do that now, do some other tasks while we're waiting. Luckily, that one doesn't take too long, so we only have a few tasks we have to complete that are just in this area, including both getting rid of all the space rocks and doing another download. Then we're going to be heading straight back up, and you'll see, first of all, we can just head and upload all of our files. Again, this is going to take a while, but I think this one should be the last one, which means now we can turn on the power. And yeah, you can also just look down at the timer to see how long we've been spending here. Now we're doing another one of these wheel things, which I still don't know exactly what we're doing. Someone in the comments is going to tell me and it'll make sense. Then it's time for another one of these puzzles. This isn't the worst puzzle, but I did it kind of badly. We're just not going to worry about that. And we get another one of these things where we're draining water. Again, what are we doing? I think I'm worrying too much about this stuff when I should be worrying about going fast, especially since we only have a couple tasks left, including this one where we have to measure the heat of the lava. It's not too hard, we just spam it. We have another one of these electricity ones. This one is kind of annoying, not too bad though. And we'll be heading right back to the laboratory where, first of all, there's going to be turning on all these node lights. You kind of just flick them on. It's not too much to say. And then we'll head over to the right, and now we want to do these readings, which again, we're just going to spam the down button. It doesn't matter if you go past it because you can't, before finally finishing it out by finding the anomaly, and we're heading over to the airship. Now, first of all, we want to make sure that our wiring is going to be in main hall. And then, as you can see, this is the biggest amount of tasks that we have of all the maps. That's actually why a lot of people do this map first for the speedrun, but since I'm making a video, I thought it would make more sense if I just went in the order. Now, there's going to be a lot of stuff to do in this one, but there's also a lot of cool mini games, so I actually really like this map. The first one that we have as a new mini game is taking trash out of a garbage can. I know, so exciting. All right, maybe not the best one to show off what I'm talking about, but then we can put these pictures right in that liquid, so they'll show up later. We have to come back after we wait a while. But of course, we have plenty of tasks to do while we wait, including making ourselves not be dirty anymore and heading over, doing some wires if I don't accidentally click out of it. But yeah, of course, we want it to start there because it's just going to be convenient for us. Then we want to head all through the locker room where we're going to pick up a bunch of towels and also go over to the shower so we can fix that too. After that, we're almost done with the showers. We just got a couple more of these towels to pick up, and now we place them in this basket. Sometimes the game can kind of glitch out for this part, so I'm a little bit safe for it just to make sure everything works out the way I want to. Before we get another garbage can, we just want to take it out and How did that one work? The trash just went right back in. I don't think that was exactly intended, but I don't care. I'm just trying to go fast. Now we have all these folders, which we have to place in different places. As soon as we pick up a folder, it's going to tell us where to put it. Preferably, I'd like to get better luck than this, but I mean, it wasn't too bad. But for now, it's time for some more downloads and some more wires. Then we can start heading down into the bathrooms where we can do another one of these trash things and then look at the map so we can choose which toilet we want to go into. It can be any 4 of the toilets. So we just went into that one, which works out perfectly before another download. Yeah, there are going to be a lot of these, especially in this map. So now that we're in cargo bay, there's only a couple things we have to do here. The first is getting some fuel, and the second is going to be the safe cracking minigame, which I actually really enjoy. I mean, it's not too complicated, but it's pretty cool. We get to steal stuff. Okay, maybe I shouldn't consider stealing stuff cool, especially in front of an audience. But anyways, we can see the code right there, and I'm actually gonna keep it in my mind right now because I can't forget the code. We're gonna have to use it later. And what I'm gonna do is during this download, I can actually write it down. So the code was green, red, red, blue. And now when we have to use it later in this game, I'll be able to go back to my notes. Anyways, it's time for this mini game where what we have to do is find the levers in order. We can also go straight over to electrical where we're gonna open these guys up. We just do all this stuff pretty much at the same time. But anyways, I want to find the ones to go to. We can see that's number 1, so we'll push it first. I remember that this one is actually going to be number 2. We can head right over here where it's going to be another one of these mini games. Not too bad. And now it's pretty much just back to finding the order. Now this is all luck based, and what's also luck based is how many of the doors are open. So we got a pretty good door pattern, and now we just have to go through all the ones since we've checked them all. We got number 5 on this side, and we can just see that that one's going to be number 6 and that one's going to be number 7. So that room is a very annoying room. It's kind of a run killer. I'm happy I'm done with it. And now we're in security, and what we have to do here is wind this tape to the correct time. What I like to do is as soon as I get close to it, I'll just stop it and then press it again just to make sure I won't over or undershoot it. I guess it doesn't really matter too much because even if I did overshoot it, I could just rewind. Whatever, that's what I like doing. Now we're going to the viewing deck. There's just going to be another one of these downloads, and you might have noticed that beneath us there are 2 arrows. The reason we're not going to them yet is that's where we have to send our downloads, and since we haven't gotten all of our downloads yet, it just makes sense to wait. But then we can make a delicious sandwich, a lot of lettuce for a very little amount of burger. Probably not the best burger I've ever seen, but you can get some very atrocious ones, so also not the worst. Anyways, I headed to the armory where I got some guns, and I almost forgot this trash, which would have been kind of hilarious. But anyways, we can also take those guns as well. We're just gonna put them on the wall, nice and easy, and we can do another one of these electricity things and also another one of these downloads. Now I gotta say, we're making some pretty good time. I know it seems like there are a lot of tasks left, but we will be getting through them quickly, especially since we've done a lot of the harder ones. Right when we're in the cockpit, there's not too much to say about these. You just get them all. We do another one of these downloads. It's easy. And then we're gonna be on our way to the engine room, but before we go right there, we want to stop by communications to do another download. Then when we do make it to the engine room, there's going to be a couple things we have to do. First of all is one of these electricities, and the second one is heading over and refueling one of these guys. It can be either the top or the bottom one. Preferably we would have wanted the top one, but the bottom one doesn't waste too much time. Then of course it's time for another download, and that leads us over to one of my favorite rooms. If you didn't know, this map is actually based off of Henry Stickmin, which is one of my favorite games of all time, and I love the references to it in here. But we're gonna do a couple things relating to that and also getting another one of these downloads. Now we got to go to the meeting room where you're gonna see that there's a lot of things we have to do over here, and we can have that kind of curse climbing animation, but we're gonna be going straight to the garbage, and we have to do this 5 different times. Yeah, they really like making you get rid of the garbage in this map. Then we can do another one of these electricities, do some wires, and finish out in this room with one of these where we just have to type the entire code and get that done. So at this point we can head back down to the gap room. We can have a very fun time just slowly going across that. I don't know what it is about that animation, but I really like it. Maybe it's the sound effects. Anyways, there's a couple things to do here, but they're just the simple things. And after that, we can finally start heading back into this area where first of all, there's going to be electricity and showers. There's going to be the pictures that we set up a very long time ago. There's going to be this electricity that we can get through the wall. And there's this code that we wrote down earlier, which like I said, is going to be green, red, red, blue. So now that's all of our tasks besides sending the information to our headquarters. Luckily, you only have to go to one of these areas and we can pick up this phone. We have to find where it has good signal, and it always makes sense to go for the perfect signal over the good. Perfect is just so much faster than good, even though it is kind of hard to find sometimes, and it can even be like under the screen, which is really annoying. But yeah, we want that perfect connection to make sure we go really fast, and we'll also be here for a while. I'll tell you when it's done. All right, I believe that one's the last one we have to do, and as soon as that's done, that's when we can call off time 32-31, which is going to give us 8th place on the leaderboards, and I'm going to take it. All right, subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye.